high-stakes debate the prestigious Oxford Union, one of the world's most famous debating societies. The topic: a failed motion. This house believes that India as a response to Pakistan is a popular strategy sold as security policy. On one side, a delegation representing India. On the other, a team from Pakistan. It was built as a clash of intellectual titans. But what happened next wasn't a debate. It was a complete meltdown that descended into a public blame game. Accusations of sabotage, and the war of words fought not in the debating chamber, but on social media. This is an incredible story of how Secret Oxford debate became Secret Oxford Farce. Let's set the stage. The event was scheduled for November 27th. The topic itself was designed to provoke strong arguments. Representing India, the original lineup was a powerhouse, former Army Chief General M. Naravane and the ever-outspoken Dr. Subramanian Swamy. However, just 2 days before the debate, both had to pull out due to unavoidable commitments. This left the Indian side scrambling for replacements. NTJ side effect. A prominent Indian lawyer known for his sharp oratory. He was already prepared to argue the case for India. Despite the incredibly short notice, he managed to assemble a new team from within the UK. Bringing on board Manuka Hurja and Pandit Satish K. Sharma. They were ready to step into the ring and defend India's position. But according to Deepak, the problem started long before the speakers even got to the venue. He pointed out on social media that key leadership positions at the Oxford Union were held by individuals with direct ties to Pakistan, specifically named the Union's president, Musharraf, alleging he is a son of Pakistan's Minister of Defense Production, and Setreche, Razan Azar. For Deepak, this raised immediate questions about potential bias in the organization of the event itself. He felt the entire affair was unstable from the very beginning. Now, let's fast forward to the day of the debate, November 27th. The Indian team was ready to travel to Oxford. But then, just hours before they were meant to take the stage, the final collapse happened. At las 3:13 in the afternoon, Deepak received a phone call. The news was shocking. The Pakistani delegation, which reportedly included high-profile figures like former Foreign Minister Naravane Kaur and Defense Minister Khawaja Muhammad Asif, had not yet even landed in London. Think about that for a moment. The debate is mere hours away, and one entire side hasn't even arrived in the country. Based on this information, the Indian team made a logical decision. They abandoned their journey to Oxford. What was the point of going if their opponents weren't even there? It seemed the event was officially off. But this is where the story takes a truly bizarre and farcical turn. A short while later, Deepak claims he received new information, a confirmation that completely contradicted what he had just been told. The Pakistani delegation had, in fact, landed. Not only that, they were already in Oxford, checked into a hotel. This revelation, as you can imagine, was explosive. Deepak went public with a blistering attack. He accused the Pakistani side of deserting the battlefield even before the battle begins. He suggested they lacked the cage to face alive. Unscripted debate and had engineered this whole situation to avoid a direct confrontation. He didn't stop there. He also heavily criticized the Oxford Union's leadership, accusing them of allowing their prestigious institution to be dragged in mud and effectively become a mouthpiece for the Pakistan High Commission as a narrative. He was furious, feeling that his team had been deliberately misled. As the Indian side was processing this, the Pakistan High Commission in London released its own official statement. Their version of events was, to put it mildly, completely defiant. They expressed their regret that the Indian delegation, which they noted was generally supposed to include General Naravane, Dr. Swamy, and even politicians such as pilot had withdrawn at the last minute. According to their statement, this withdrawal handed the Pakistani side a walkover. They framed the situation as a sign that India lacked the confidence to defend its own security policies in what they called a neutral and intellectually rigorous debate. So now we have two completely opposite stories. India side says Pakistan created a false pretext to dodge the debate. Pakistan side says India got cold feet and backed out. This public mudslinging quickly gained traction online. Indian politician Priyanka Chaturvedi of the Shiv Sena VT chimed in an X, formerly TWITTR, taking a sharp dig at Pakistan. She wrote, "Pakistan is crying again over an Oxford Union debate. This is for the record. Once again they have proved to be liars. Expecting any better from them was not even on my list," her post amplified. The Indian narrative that Pakistan had acted in bad faith. Let's try to unpack this mess. What really happened here? Was it a massive organizational failure by the Oxford Union? Or was it a deliberate Pakistani gambit, as IDP called it, designed to scuttle the debate while making India look like the one WHO back down? France IDP's detailed account. The timeline is crucial. The initial call informing him that the Pakistani delegation hadn't told that seems to be the trigger for the Indian team's withdrawal. If that information was false or deliberately misleading, it completely changes the complexion of the situation. It shifts from a simple logistical issue to an act of intentional deception. Why would someone tell the Indian team their opponents weren't there if they actually were? That is the million-dollar question at the heart of this controversy. The Pakistani High Commission statement, on the other hand, conveniently ignores these fine details. It paints a simple picture: India didn't show up. Reframing it as a walkover, they declared victory by default, claiming the moral and intellectual high ground without having to utter a single word in the debate chamber. This allowed them to push the narrative that India was afraid to have its policy scrutinized on a global stage. The role of the Union in all this remains murky. How could such a communication breakdown happen at an institution with centuries of experience hosting well-led and fiery debates? IDP's criticism of the leadership suggests he believes they were either incompetent or complicit. He argued that the Union's reputation was being tarnished by allowing itself to be used in this political game. In the end, the real loss was the audience and the principle of open debate itself, an opportunity for a robust intellectual exchange on a critical geopolitical issue was lost. Instead of arguments and counter-arguments, we were left with accusations and counter-accusations playing out on social media. The motion itself, whether India's policy is about security or populism, was never even addressed. The debate about the debate became the main event. This incident highlights just how fraught the relationship between India and Pakistan is. Where even a university debate can escalate into a diplomatic incident. It became less about an academic discussion and more about national pride and political point scoring. Each side came away claiming that it was afraid, dishonest, and had fled the battlefield. The truth, as is often the case, might diverge and were in a mess of miscommunication, political maneuvering, and the deep-seated mistrust that permeates every level of interaction. What do you think happened here? Was this a clever trick or a colossal blunder? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you found this story as fascinating as we did, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into the stories making headlines around the world.